俺の財宝か？欲しけりゃくれてやる。探せ！この世の全てをそこに置いてきた。
Yo guys, and welcome to this new video. With this chapter concludes the Class A vs B arc, and I think it kind of follows that trend of disappointment that characterized the previous ones, overall confirming how this arc, that could have great potential in terms of significance and character exploration, was in a sense kind of wasted because it was more centered on the evolution of specific characters, especially in this last part. And we will see this in detail in a moment. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe, and let's jump straight into it. So the set ended 4-0, and this in my opinion was clearly done to balance, in a sense, Bakugou's score, to maintain that kind of competition between the two, even in this aspect. However, differently from that previous match, where ending it so quickly and in that way with Bakugou supporting the team supporting Bakugou, allowed to explore in a much more significant way than what happened in Deku's match, a certain type of evolution of the Bakugou character that was worth it to sacrifice the importance that Class B should have had, because we have to remember that this arc was kind of presented as a way to explore more in detail the characterizations and quirks of Class B, a group of students that we didn't see too much in the previous parts of the manga. However, in that particular contest, it was worth it to sacrifice them, to sacrifice their spotlight, to show how Bakugou matured and in what way he matured and what he became through that process. On the other hand, Deku's match contained Shinso, so much more potential in terms of the Class B team. For this reason, and also because we didn't need to see anything from a character that we followed from chapter 1, that is the protagonist, that we explored in many different ways, that we now know a lot better than any other. In this particular situation, what Rikoshi did was concentrating everything around Deku's evolution in terms of the quirk, but that kind of discovery about the truth of One for All could have been done in any other situation without sacrificing the Class B, while on the other hand Bakugou's evolution, Bakugou's development needed a team, needed a sort of team fight, which is something that doesn't usually happen with him around, because for what we saw up until now, he most of the times tried to act alone. So that situation was justified in a sense, but the concentration of Deku, this Deku centrification of the latest match, sacrificed too much to show something that could have been shown in any other situation. By sacrificing, I mean that a character like Shinso, that was presented as one of the main elements of this arc and had a great potential of profoundness because he was being tested. He had the opportunity, this was his opportunity to conquer his dream by showing his resolution of becoming a hero, despite a quirk that most of the people could have thought more inclined towards a villain career. So all this significance was kind of destroyed, demolished, by centering the attention on a Deku that didn't need it. The fact is, at the beginning of the arc, during the first set, this significance was started very well in my opinion. The problem is the way it ended, a kind of a poor way in my opinion, and this is because at this point it looks like Horikoshi just wanted to show how Shinso is still far from the hero course, but in a sense we already knew, we didn't need this to be underlined too much. I would have appreciated much more if he showed, or if he stood up to the resolution he in some moments showed even failing, even without being accepted, but at least showing some sort of characterization that evolved with the possibility of achieving what he truly wanted. But Horikoshi decided differently, and another victim, you could say, of this particular way of developing the plot is Class B itself, as I mentioned before. But victim not in the sense that I think what he did was bad, or I think what he did was good because I hate Class B. Victim in the sense that there was much more potential, there was an incredible possibility of exploring those characters, those students, and this possibility, at least in the last part, was not used, was not explored, and this was not true at the beginning of the arc. At the beginning of the arc, everything met my expectations. At the end, however, in this last set, you can see the difference just by considering the fact that the hero names of Monoma and Co were only presented now that the set ended, now that all of them were captured. So they were not presented alongside their quirks or alongside some expression of their characterization to match them, as happened for example with Tetsu before or with many other Class B students. This particular presentation gives the impression that Horikoshi actually forgot to reveal those names and just threw them in the last spot available at the last moment. Of course, it is not like that, but this impression creates an atmosphere, not only this impression, but the way in which Class B was treated in this last set, in this last part of the arc, creates an atmosphere that, looking at the final score, the 2-0 for Class A, makes everything look so trivial, so as expected as ever, because it's nothing different from that certain favoritism one can see in the manga for Deku's class, which one can think to be justified because it's the class of the protagonist, is the class of the rival, of the many rivals, is the class of the main characters, of the main teachers. However, having another class means that you have a separate, same potential, and Horikoshi just seems to want to leave it there. It is as if you have two fields where you can play your favorite game, but you always choose to play on the same one. It could seem kind of a waste from a certain point of view. You may have noticed that I didn't focus specifically on some happening of this chapter, and this is mainly because nothing much truly happens. Differently from other post-set analysis where either Aizawa or Vlad suggested some improvement to the students and the students started to think what they could do from that point on. This is not present at all now here in this chapter, in this particular phase of the post-5 set, because what the students and the teachers only do is summarizing everything we knew about the set, everything we saw, but this is kind of useless because it just repeats what not only has readers but also the spectators and the participants lived. This is used in order to see maybe Shinso's actions or Shinso's own disappointment about himself in a different light, but it's not even explored in enough profoundness. It's just said that yes, they know that Shinso can't do anything by himself, but that's exactly the point of the hero class. It is exactly the point of the test, showing how in a situation where you are not able to do anything, you can improve with your team to achieve the goal. It was a test in the end about the attitude of being a hero in every situation, especially in those that are not so advantageous. Anyway, focusing on the last part of the chapter, that is the Monoma part of the chapter, I don't want to repeat too much what I wrote in one of the previous chapter reviews about him not being able to copy One for All because of the nature of Deku's quirk itself, which is kind of composed by the essences of the predecessors. It contains not only the quirks but also traits of their personality and of those people themselves. So it's something that is kind of a composition of people that of course Monoma can't copy, because it's not something that Deku uses in the sense that Deku has his quirk and activates it as a part of himself. Deku takes his power from other people, so it's understandable that Monoma couldn't copy it. But this is not the importance that Monoma has in this chapter, because it looks like he will be connected with the Eri situation. This could be for different reasons. Of course, Aizawa wants him to copy Eri's quirk, which could be dangerous by itself, because we know how Eri wasn't able to control it and nothing suggests that Monoma can. After all, Monoma only knows the quirk he's copying the moment he starts to copy it for the first time. So nothing guarantees that everything Aizawa wants to do will work and that Monoma will be able to not destroy everything around him. But the reason for that could be not only acquiring more information about the quirk itself so that Eri will be able to control it by herself, but of course regaining Mirio's quirk, and this will allow us to recover one of the greatest characters of the manga. I just would like to see him recovering his quirk in a non-trivial way. But we can do anything about it for now. We can just wait for the next chapter to come and to show something about this particular new contest of the plot. And until then, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bnha!